Hello guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls, it's me Big Mike, and welcome to another episode of Big Mike's Indie Game Showcase, the series where we take an in-depth look at indie games. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Spotless by Ghosty Games for Windows and Linux, available on Steam. And fam, this is another title I've had the pleasure of seeing in my wishlist Wednesday and screenshot Saturday post, watching it grow and develop. And so making this video was a real fun time for me and was something I was looking forward to for a very long time. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, so I'm going to hold myself off here, and I want to throw up a couple disclaimers before we continue. Firstly, as always, I make no claims at being a good gamer. I'm just a guy that enjoys gaming. Secondly, the gameplay footage you'll see in the background is going to be mostly chronological and coming from the first 10 to 20 minutes of the game. However, occasionally I may show some clips to illustrate some points, so what you see on the screen may not follow the chronology precisely. And lastly, as always, I'm attempting to keep this video as spoiler-free as possible, but just as I noted previously, you're going to be seeing the first 10 to 20 minutes here in the background, and I may also be mentioning some very mild spoilers in the review section of this video. So just kind of keep that in mind, fam. One of the things I like to do here on Big Mike's Indie Game Showcase is to give some background information on the developer. I believe, like with any artist, in order to fully appreciate their work, you need to understand them and their background. Now, Ghosty Games has a website, and so I've taken some information from that source, but I've also asked them some questions directly. And so what follows in this section will come from both of these. But first, let's take a look at their website. It reads, Frederick W. Schroeder IV, the founder, lead developer, and artist of Ghosty Games, is a graduate of Bucknell University's class of 2016. Frederick studied studio art and creative writing. He discovered a love of storytelling through a variety of visual media. He further explored this practice through a professional wrestling career that allowed him to tell stories both using promotional videos and physical in-ring spectacles in front of a live crowd. Now he brings the lessons he's learned together into the ultimate interactive storytelling media, video games. Frederick has loved games of all types his whole life and hopes to share his love with new and old generations alike. So in order to get more information, I asked Ghosty Games the same standard questions I asked all of the developers whose games I discuss here. And so first I asked him, what's your history as a game developer? He replied, I'm a solo developer who has been developing full-time since 2021. I had previously played around with the Game Maker engine way back in 2006 or so, but being much younger and the learning resources tutorials not being what they are today, I never got very far. Upon learning of the excellent open source engine Godot in 2021, I decided to give it another shot, and it came very naturally this time. By then, I had a college degree in studio arts and creative writing, along with valuable work and life experience that made the game developer dream a much more feasible reality. I decided to devote the majority of my time to learning and working. In addition to prototypes and that were more of a learning experience, I actually released my first two small games on Google Play and itch.io. The first was Eats, Shoots, and Leaves, a simple 2D platformer about a mama panda rescuing her cubs from hunters. The second was Beanie's Berry Basket, a high-score-based game about catching fallen berries. After this, I began work on Spotless in spring of 2022, a much more ambitious project. It became my first Steam release in July of 2024. So then I asked, what inspired you to get into game development? A love of video games, of course. From my earliest days, I found myself learning and playing as many games as I could, from board games to make-believe games to video games. Playing educational games like Reader Rabbit on our family PC helped me to learn to read very young, and discovering games like Super Mario Bros. And Pokemon triggered my already active imagination like nothing else. By the time I finally got my own Game Boy Color at age 6, my mother says she knew I would be making games of my own one day. However, it wasn't until the COVID-19 lockdowns of 2020 that this would truly come to fruition. I had just retired from a professional wrestling career and was transitioning to a more modest career of teaching English when the world suddenly shut down. As with most people, these events caused me to reevaluate my priorities. I realized that I wanted to work mainly from home so that I could spend more time with family. While figuring out what my next career would be, I also had a lot of downtime in which I played more video games than I had in years. It reignited the love of games that had been placed on the back burner while I focused on other career-related goals. Games like Fire Emblem and Dishonored 2 reminded me of how truly special games were as an art form. They allowed players to immerse themselves in adventure even when the world around us was so bleak. I thought if I could provide an experience where someone could forget their troubles, even for an hour or two, it would be providing a great benefit to others. And so I began to learn video game development, and it just clicked. So then I asked what inspired Spotless. Spotless is both a love letter to the Game Boy era games that first captured my young imagination, and a step into the shoes of those who must do the dirty work no one else wants to do. The ones who scrub the horrific scenes away in public restrooms or mop down a sticky tavern after hours when the lights have been dimmed. I worked part-time as a custodian for many years and knew many of these experiences firsthand, and yet there was a strong sense of satisfaction in transforming these spaces just by cleaning them. I have OCD myself, but I believe there was something to the cleaning process that could be gamified, especially when factoring in how one often optimizes for efficiency while on the job. If there are some crusty critters to battle in these spooky environments, then you've got a game where the ideas and weapon types practically wrote themselves. Add on a layer of the modern roguelike progression system seen in games like Hades, and the satisfaction of cleaning up haunted sites suddenly becomes quite addicting, enticing players for one more run. And fam, I gotta say, I can definitely see the inspiration after spending so much time with this game. I can definitely see what he's talking about here. But then I asked, can you tell me a bit about your interest in games as a gamer? Your history with games, favorite games, and more. They reply, growing up, I was a huge Nintendo fan. My Game Boy and later DS Lite came with me everywhere so I could always get my fix of the latest Pokemon, Mario, and Zelda. Pokemon Silver in particular was a game that I would restart again and again with different teams, fully immersed in the cute and at the time massive world. Link's Awakening and Ocarina of Time were other favorites, sport engaging stories and large worlds full of mystery. I love to experiment with different weapons and items to solve both puzzles and gain the edge in battles. As I got older and braver, I found myself obsessed with games like Resident Evil and BioShock that were challenging and full of spooky elements. These days, I most enjoy strategy games. I played a lot of RTSs growing up like Age of Mythology and Empire Earth, but now I prefer turn-based. I get to take my time and bend my brain to figure out the optimal moves, and then watch as I get punished for overlooking one small thing. It sounds crazy, but it's so rewarding when you get it right. XCOM, Into the Breach, Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Darkest Dungeon have all tested my skills and patience, and I have well over 100 of hours playtime in each. Now let's take a look at the Steam page. It reads, "Hey, Gil here, your average 20-something with few career prospects. You know, when I applied for this job at Spotless Services LLC, I thought it would be like any other after-hours cleaning gig. Quiet, simple, gross at times, sure, but at the end of the shift, I go home to veg out and not think about work until my next clock in. That was until I discovered the sites I'm cleaning are haunted. These sites aren't just filthy, they're dust bunnies hopping right at your face filthy. Sometimes I find rotting zombies running around, other times it's a cruel dust witch riding around on a broom throwing fireballs. Heck, even the kitchen appliances are possessed. You ever scrub a toilet that's trying to gnaw your arm off? At this point, I'm happy just to make it out of a shift without losing a limb. And then, I spend all of my time off anxiously preparing for the next shift, hoping to do just a little better. I guess working for Spotless does have some benefits though. Clearing out enemies and dirt quickly gets me a better feedback report from the clients and a bonus reward of silver sponges from the boss lady Nat. Fulfilling client-specific requests or demands helps even more with the feedback report. Redeeming silver sponges for upgrades makes subsequent sites more manageable. Working multiple sites back to back gets me a sweet overtime pay multiplier at the risk of losing cash due to damages on more difficult sites. Sometimes you gotta know when to just play it safe and clock out. If I do a real thorough job, I can find secrets that can be sold back to clients or other unsavory buyers. I'm not saying it's ethical, but it provides a much appreciated bump in pay. Saving up enough cash allows me to purchase permanent upgrades to my cleaning supplies and personal abilities. Managing these is key to success and survival. Conversations with coworkers in between shifts sometimes leads to learning tricks and getting surprising benefits as I climb up the company ladder. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. So here are my thoughts and experiences with Spotless. And first, I want to talk about the gameplay. When you first start, you'll see a start menu full of options, but at first the only two that should be of concern is the training and start shift. I would highly recommend hitting the training mode first to get a good feel for everything. It's just like the normal mode, only you're given much more time to complete everything, so it's the perfect way to learn the ropes. And once you click start shift, the first site you'll be sent to is the laundromat owned by Laura Jean. You'll start in the parking lot where you'll notice lots of what looks to either be clumps of dust or bundles of lint, as well as the occasional cobweb. Occasionally you will find trash cans, dumpsters, toilets, sinks, and more that will require cleaning. These are my favorite because it feels like they are worth more. And by worth more, I mean if you look at the top of your screen, you'll see 2 meters. The top one is your health and the bottom one starts empty and you have to fill it up in order to get completely clean. Every time you clean something, it will fill your meter a bit. This dirt and dirty items aren't the only thing you'll find. You'll often find ghosts who take the form of various things, including literal dust bunnies, dirt devils, and more. You can attack these with your cleaning items. As you progress, the enemies will get stronger and you will encounter more types of enemies. I personally have encountered 2. One is what I would describe as a mountain or pile of dust that will continuously send weaker enemies at you until you take it out, and the other is a monster fridge. Don't fret, however, fam, the enemies aren't the only thing that will upgrade. After you finish a shift, you will receive both cash and silver sponges. The exact number you will receive depends on your performance. You can use these sponges to buy healing items and items that will enhance your stats, sometimes temporarily, sometimes permanently. As you progress through the game, you'll unlock item upgrades you can purchase with the money you earn. You can find these on the main menu under the upgrades option. And fam, I'd highly recommend upgrading to the duster as soon as you can, as it has a much wider range of attack than the brush. Ready for a Big Mike Super Advanced Pro Gamer move tip? A super useful tip is when you still have the brush and your range isn't too good. If you stand in between 2 dirty items, most commonly 2 dirty sinks, you'll clean them both at the same time, helping you to save precious time. Now I want to share my thoughts and experiences with the aesthetics, and first I want to talk about the writing. The puns here are top notch. I love how the owner of the laundromat's name is Laura Jean, and the owner of Shamtech is Ernie Runoff. And there are many more where that came from, including the names of enemies, like a dust bunny being the name of a literal dust bunny. And while I'm here, and I know it's not technically part of the game, but I just want to say I appreciated the writing on the Steam page. That was one of the most humorous and entertaining Steam pages I have ever came across in my time of working with indie games. So kudos, Ghosty Games. Now before talking about the visuals and the sound, I have to admit, and if you've been watching my videos for a while, then you will know indie games done in a Game Boy style or that are actual Game Boy games have a special place in my heart. Both the visuals and the sound are perfect in regards to this. Now on to the visuals. One thing I really loved about the design was the stages. All of the stages were based off 90s era locations. Pizzerias, bowling alleys, roller rinks, and more. And the details in these places are excellently crafted to give anyone familiar with such places a nice taste of nostalgia. For example, Pizza de Pascal, you'll find tables with that red and white checkered tablecloth that was common in local pizzerias, as well as a statue of an oftentimes exaggerated and cartoonish pizza chef. And all of these make it feel like a pizza eatery from that era. The character design here is something that I've fallen head over heels for. As far as the humans go, Gil definitely looks like a protagonist, and Nat looks like she'd be a hard-to-please boss. But what I really love is the design of the enemies. They are quite unique and are often puns, like the dust bunnies that are literal bunnies, made from dust. And lastly, I want to talk about the music. The music here fits with each of the stages, and even more so, it feels like each song kind of has a bit of influence from that stage. For example, the music in the arcade stage has a bit of an arcade tang to it, though it is also quite possible I'm reading too much into it. Regardless, the music is a real treat that really sets the mood perfectly for each stage. So now here are my final thoughts. Both the visuals and the music blend together to make this game a surprisingly atmospheric experience, and couple this with the challenging yet never frustrating gameplay, and you have one unforgettable gameplay experience that is really hard to put down. So if you're into games done in a Game Boy style, or if you're looking for a fun experience with some unique chill vibes, be sure to check out Spotless. You can get your own copy of Spotless on Steam at the link below. There is also a demo available if you would like to try it for yourself. And if you would like to support Ghosty Games but can't afford to buy the game, please be sure to wishlist it. Wishlisting games is a great way to support indie developers. And also I want to give a special thanks to Ghosty Games for reaching out to me and sending me a copy of their game. And I also want to apologize. This video should have been out way earlier than this, but due to some technical reasons that I'll go into in the end slate, it was very late coming out. And with that, we'll call the video proper here, fam. Welcome back to another Big Mike end slate, baby. The part of the video that's not really part of the video, while I'm all natural, uncut, uncensored, off the cuff, all natural. Free range duck daddy. So just a couple things I want to talk about here. So first, this was a very difficult video to actually make. Not because of the game. The game was actually phenomenal. It was really, really fun. However, technology didn't really want to work with me for some reason. So I tried on Windows with Windows Game Recorder, and for some reason it did not like the full screen of the game, and it wouldn't record it partially either. Also, OBS, for some reason, would only record the title screen and would record the sound, but not the visuals to go along with it. So it'd be stuck on the title screen and you would hear the sounds of my gameplay, but you wouldn't actually see it. And I was a bit worried things would kind of get stuck there. So then I tried it on Linux, and lo and behold, it ran perfectly, fam. And secondly, this is really my first video for October that's kind of October themed, and this one was really a coincidence, not by design. As I said previously, I meant for this video to come out much earlier, but the haunted places, the ghosts and such really fits in nicely with the theme I want to have for this month, with a lot of the videos but not all. So I have some things planned for this October, well, this month now, I guess I should say, that are more October themed, and hopefully things will go pretty good. Now, my next video will not be October themed. I'm going to be doing a reaction video to my thoughts and experiences at this year's Sonic Hacking Contest, or Sonic Hacking Contest 2024. But every video after that for this month should be kind of spooky or scary themed. And so, that's really all I have here to talk about for this end slate. So I just want to remind everybody, I do have a Ko-fi account, and for the time being, anything I receive, any donation, would greatly help my channel and help me to either buy or build a better computer. And having a better computer would allow me to branch out and do different kinds of videos, play different kinds of games, engage with other YouTubers and VTubers and streamers, and do things with my friends and such. And I do have a goal set on my Ko-fi right now. But if you can't or don't want to, I completely understand. Times are hard and money's tight for many people. I just love the fact that you're here. And you've made it this far. You've made it to my end slate, fam. That means the world to me. Also, special thanks to Fran, who does a wonderful job of doing my art. She's going to be back on Twitter at some point in time, and when she comes back, please give her a follow, and please commission her for all of your art needs. You have Big Mike's damn guarantee that you will not be disappointed. As Fran is not only a damn good artist, she's also a damn cool person to work with. I guarantee you. A special thanks to all of my friends on Twitter. I wouldn't be here without you all, and a special thanks to all of you for watching this video. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, but if you want to be really cool about disliking my video, please leave me a comment below and let me know why you dislike it so I can improve myself, I can improve my videos, and I can be the best damn Big Mike I can possibly be. But hey, you know what? Even if you like my videos, you feel indifferent about my videos, or somehow you're here and you have no idea how the hell you got here, still leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you lovely guys, gals, non-binary pals, and waterfowls. It really makes my day, and it's really the only way I can connect with you all. And if you like my videos, please subscribe and turn your notifications on. Until next time, fam, remember, just be yourself and you'll be awesome. Peace out!